Okay, so welcome back to another episode of a talking podcast, kind of like a video, whatever you might want to call. First of all, um, I'm Trisha here. You may call me Trix or Trish, whichever name that you would like to call me with. Pet name me if you like. The girl who talks. Okay, so today's thought. I was thinking lately a lot about parents, reading a lot of parenting books, and certain thoughts kind of strike my mind, and I was open to talk about them in today's episode. So, today's episode is going to largely revolve around talking about parenting, especially me being from India, born and brought up in India, very much associated with the culture of India, felt like um, whatever that I am going to speak about, it is going to highly revolve around the Indian kind of parenting. So before you go ahead and throw axes and stones at me for people who are highly worshipping of their parents, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a heads up about there's not going to be any sort of hate comments or anything that is throwing a direct dart on anyone. It's just more of an individual statement, experiences, or feelings that I have been through, and I just wanted to go ahead and talk about them. I'm assuring you. Again, no hate, no comments, nothing. Let's be here, gather around and support and show encouragement and motivate each other instead of spreading hatred. World is filled with already a lot of hatred we do not need anymore. So if you're here to support me and understand the feelings that I go through or you go through or we can connect and align, then thank you so much for all the love and blessings. Or else I do not want any sort of unnecessary hatred or any sort of comments. Keep it to yourself. And yep. So, talking about parenting, growing up in an Indian household, and understanding that every time a child speaks or want to statement something, it's not certainly heard because there's a notion that really goes in our culture that one must respect elders to an extent that when something comes from a young self or a young child, things are not taken seriously only because, firstly, that person doesn't have much experience due to a sort of number or age, or it could be solely because of how small one is, and because of that, much experience or much amount of idea hasn't been gathered enough, relevant enough to speak out individual thoughts. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be something, a notion that has to be agreed upon. It could be a sort of a want or need that, hey, you know what? I think that this is a snack that we should eat. I'm just speaking because I have looked it upon net and I feel like this could be a much more healthy option. We can switch to this, and there'll be indoctrination of beliefs from a household saying that no, I don't think that snacks which has protein ingrained or it, a protein bar or protein powder is really not good taking because our ancestors believe that protein solely depends on meat consumption, soy chunks, um, chickpeas. So basically ingraining a lot of healthy options, a lot of, so their definition of healthy is eating uh, harvested or food that is not chemically compounded. So I agree. I totally agree because they come from a background or culture that totally revolves so much around um, things being followed upon. It's a cycle that is not easy to break, and our generation is really making it difficult for them to adjust, to believe, to incorporate, to just blend in or be habitat of it. And everything that comes out of us is quoted as Gen Z. So again, like, our generation take mental health very, very importantly. We hold it at to the mark. Our Talking about mental health, I don't think my ancestors or even my mom took it that seriously. Things were not like, in that generation, if they even tried to bring it up that, I am going through these series of episodes or these series of events that is mentally bothering me, there was no such thing called as depression, antidepressant pills, or being mentally ill, or being diagnosed with bipolar disorder or PPD or any sort of those mental um, health problems, or be epileptic or any sort of things. People would just shut you off and be like, everything's fine with you, do not say that again, because there's no such thing as depression. Just put on a grand big smile on your face and continue with your life, because everything is going to be all right. But sometimes it's not just about smiling and going with the flow. Sometimes it's about writing, jotting your thoughts down, addressing them. And I feel like a big part of our of parenting is to not give your child the ballroom to speak or to understand their thoughts, because you brought them into this world. It's so unnecessary for parents to think that every thought that kind of lingers to our mind is unnecessary because of the lack of experience or the lack of age. Age is a big factor here, and I do not understand why that happens all the time. uh, your children must be given the opportunity to speak. Your children must be, maybe when they speak, it doesn't have to be taken in account, or to, you know, be for to the statement, or neither be against. I feel that the wisest way to handle, out of all the parenting books that I have read and I have come across, I feel that the best way, the wisest way to really account is to hear them out, at least hear them out, and reflect that when these points were brought along, did I even, as a parent, did I even listen to them, or did I even reflect on self as to what changes or what impact could I bring in? For example, let's say growing up, I always wanted to uh, be a violinist. Always wanted to play a music instrument. And at a very young age, being in India, especially, academics is so much more important. For our parents, there's a cycle of belief that, this is the marks you have to secure, because good marks, good job, good life. So this is an indoctrination of belief that is just so fake. It's not always about securing good marks. It's sometimes about the amount of aptitude, or the amount of wiseness, or how smart you are, how beautifully you can handle any situation, get out of any situation. Sometimes it's so much about willpower, negotiation, so many skills that our education system or our schools do not teach us. And our parents have been brought up, their upbringing, by their parents and their parents, and sixth generation, eighth generation, have been in a way that they believe that marks is a piece of academic paper, is everything to define your future. The college you go to, the job you take, the kind of work that you do, the kind of industry you're gonna fall in. So I feel that it's just, when you go and do that job, that's when you realize everything that you have been taught in your university and in your school, except the good moments that you create with your classmates and your teacher. Those were the moments, those were the learning that you learned on your school, not the piece of paper, not the exams that you wrote. Yeah, sure, your education do teach you something, but they teach you a lot more when they are practically held, not when they are theoretically memorized or very difficultly attend. So yeah, these are my thoughts. I just feel that children should be given much more opportunity to speak up their thoughts, to seek the hobbies they want. And like coming back to again, for example, the example that I was giving is that growing up, I knew that there's this music instrument that I want to play, and I was very specific about it, and it was violin. Even at the age of 20 three, I'm really not sure that I want to play the violin when I could just, I'm making my own money. I could just buy the violin and start playing the goddamn violin, which I always wanted to do. But there has been fear. There's been a kind of fear that has been struck on me by my own parents. Again, no hate, no offense. That academics is the only thing that you're capable of, and it's your sole existence and your sole thing that you should do and you should prove to the world. Anything more than that is just a waste of time, and it's just waste of resources, and world is just gonna look down on you and not take you seriously. Certain things are not about being taken up seriously. Certain things are so much more inclined towards our own self well-being, the happiness, the little bit of smile that it puts on our face, the bowl of food that you eat and it puts a smile on your face, rather than that boiled food forcefully fed by your parents, because they think the idea of love is to indoctrinate certain patterns into your life. Sometimes, thinking about your own children, you do not give them the little bit of joy that could have, like, let them play the music instrument, let them play that chess, let them do all the sort of activities. Maybe you can come up to a negotiation that, that this is what my expectations are, this is what I expect from you. Happy to help you with your hobbies and the things that you want to do in your life, but this would really bring me a lot of joy that you have done this for me. That's what I think. And also, it's very wrong to put your expectation on your children that just because I wanted to be a doctor, you're forced to be a doctor because I couldn't be one. Let them be what they want to be. Don't make them be what they want to be, or else they're completely becoming consumed by a character that they never wanted to build. They're after a point of time, maybe they might become a doctor, maybe they might become an astronaut. After a point of time, they will find themselves to be someone that they were never, and that's when it will lead to so many overthinking, mental problems, being someone, finding your own self. Even at the age of 40 or 50, they'll have trouble finding themselves because a lot of thoughts have been incorporated inside them that this is the person you should be. This is what you should do. This is what you should eat. This is how you should talk. This is how you should sit. These are the amount of people you should talk to. This is the society around who you're going to revolve. This is the environment you should populated. So yeah, I'm just going through a lot of feelings at the moment that upon my reading, because when you read a book is not to uh, take the understanding or the things that you learn from that book and attain them in your life, but a book is more of enjoyment, entertainment of reading, and a realization, oh my god, this happened with me, and when it happened I didn't even realize that it was happening. So book could be a kind of deja vu, kind of realization, kind of zing to your, like, oh my god, I have been through this. This is the exact, when you see a movie and someone is doing something stupid and you tell them, oh, don't do it, don't do this, don't do this, oh my god, you're gonna fall in trouble. We often do the same thing in our life so many times. I wish there was someone watching us and kind of telling us, oh my God, Trisha, you're doing something wrong, stop it. And it kind of echoed. Maybe in our life, sometime there's two there's two part of us talking to ourselves. When we are going to do something, it's like a rivalry between both of our sides. Like, do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this. But it's just that we are so scared of our own people, of our own relatives or parents. We can't even share or string our thoughts design our thoughts in a way to share with them, because of the fear of being judged or the fear of being said no. Maybe a no is not that hard to take, but when that no comes in a regular basis, that's when it just becomes so much more difficult, because you feel that there's no one in this world to support you, support your dreams. Maybe you do not need anyone to support you, just need to believe in yourself. And in our journey of growing up, we are fed so many thoughts that we lose ourselves in our regular life. We start overthinking, we go on a journey of finding ourselves. And I believe that everybody needs that adventure, that thrill of life, to find yourself, do that trip, eat that food, write that book, paint that story, paint that. So play that instrument. I, I really want to buy my violin and start playing. I don't want to, like, the way to do it is to just go ahead and do it. I don't want to get flashbacks of statements like, you can't do this because this is what you were born to do. So yeah, maybe even although I buy the instrument and I play it and I suck at it, I will know I will not sleep a restless night knowing that I wanted to play an instrument but I didn't even give a shot. So yeah, just cut off that indoctrination of beliefs fed by our own people who were supposed to bring us to this world and believe in us and give us all the belief that, my child, I didn't do it, you go ahead and you do it. They didn't become a doctor, so they want us to be a doctor. They wanted to play a music instrument once, and their parents stopped it for their own good, because they believed that their time should be totally invested in academics. And so going forward, they thought, when I will become a parent, I'll become a super cool parent, I'll let my child do everything. But they end up doing the very same thing that their parents did with them. So voila. I'm really not gonna say don't have kids, because I think the same way. Have the kid, be a wonderful mom and dad, and read about parenting, because I feel like the only way to um, resolute this is to read about parenting and understand the patterns, because I feel like it's just a cycle. It's just something that has been fed to us, and we go ahead and we feed it, because we have been taught that a human natural way of a human being is to eat, poop, rest, work hard, repeat. So obviously, everyone who are born in this world are gonna follow the same structure. So I do not blame. I just say that it's a structure that a generation, a single generation can break. And may that be you. May that be me. Our generation can really do this. I feel like our generation has the potential. We're doing so much. Like, if you look at the charts of fitness, it has gradually, like, like escalated really high. Like, everybody is into fitness and bodybuilding and having the good body, not just for the power of showing it off, but for the power of feeling healthy, feeling good about yourself, even feeling great in that basic tee that you wear. So yeah, be the change, may that be you. That's all for the day. Love you guys. Thank you for listening to me. And I'll come back with more episodes like this, like I promised, every week once. Bye.